Welcome back to a spooky episode of Hashtag That. I'm Samantha Shaw.
And I'm Grace Doyle. From 1989 Taylor's version to fashion faves, we're back with the latest entertainment news updates.
All that and more from Hampton to Hollywood, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hampton to Hollywood, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
Beloved Friends actor Matthew Perry died at age 54 on Saturday, October 28th after allegedly drowning in his jacuzzi in his Los Angeles home. The New York Times reported that, quote, the death was confirmed by Captain Scott Williams of the Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division. He said the cause of death was not likely to be determined for some time, but there was no indication of foul play, end quote. Fans and friends of Perry have been honoring his memory on social media by posting old photos and videos of the late actor. Saturday Night Live also paid tribute to Perry hours after the news broke of his death by closing out the show with a title card in his honor. In addition to playing Chandler Bing in NBC's Friends, Perry had also starred in other television shows and movies, such as Fools Rush In, 17 Again, as well as many other projects. His book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, a memoir, was published last November, where he discusses his alcohol and drug addiction as well as ongoing problems with his medical history. Late actor Richard Roundtree died last week at the age of 81 in his Los Angeles home. Variety reported that Roundtree's manager, Patrick Mickman, was confirmed that his death had to do with a short battle against pancreatic cancer. Mickman said, quote, Richard's work and career served as a turning point for African-American leading men in film. The impact he had on the industry cannot be overstated, end quote. Roundtree starred in the Shaft movies as a title character and was recognized as one of the first African-American action heroes in Hollywood. In addition, he appeared in many other blockbusters and had a successful modeling career. Roundtree was also a breast cancer survivor and advocated for breast cancer awareness.
The most famous band in history has created one final song over 60 years after their prime. The track, called Now and Then, is promised to be the last new Beatles song. With the use of artificial intelligence, Get Back director Peter Jackson was able to reconstruct John Lennon's original vocals from previously unreleased demos recorded in 1970. The new single also contains guitar that George Harrison recorded nearly 3 decades ago before his death in 2001. Surviving members Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr have added drum and bass tracks as well as a slide guitar solo, acting as a tribute to the late Harrison. It's quite emotional, said McCartney in an announcement about the single. We all play on it. It's a genuine Beatles recording. In 2023, to still be working on Beatles music and about to release a new song the public hasn't heard, I think it's quite an exciting thing. Now and Then will be available to the public on Thursday, November 2nd. 2 descendants of 90s royalty tied the knot this month, with many familiar faces observing the ceremony. Frances Beaton Cobain, the daughter of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain and singer Courtney Love, married Riley Hawk, the son of pro skater Tony Hawk, in early October. According to TMZ reports, court documents account that the couple got married October 7th, with R.E.M. frontman Michael Stipe officiating the service. Stipe is also Cobain's appointed godfather. It is unknown whether or not Cobain's godmother, Drew Barrymore, was in attendance. This is Hawk's first marriage and Cobain's second, following her separation from musician Isaiah Silva in 2016.
Being in college is hard enough, but with the added pressure of being an influencer and an athlete is a huge struggle. Ben Kane is here with former Barstool intern Maddie Schrader on her experience.
Maddie Schrader, or as the world knows her, Mubi, came to fame through her unique content style and an internship with Barstool over the summer. I spoke with her to discuss her summer of a lifetime and continuing to be a collegiate athlete.
Obviously, I think the question that everyone asks is, like, what is gym? Who is gym? That sort of thing, like in regards to my brand. Or like, how did you get Barstool leadership? How did this start? In the beginning, I wasn't really talking to a lot of people. I was so thankful for Jack Mack because he was one of the few people I felt like really comfortable around to like be myself. And we just like got into filming things. And like there were a couple eyes looking at us like, what is going on? Because there's people after Brianna and before me that were content interns and like didn't do well. So I'm also like, what should I do? What approach? And it was hard in the beginning. I just had to slowly like ease in my personality. like just try to do, I remember in the beginning, I was just recording things around the office, like KFC was in front of me once. I didn't even know who KFC was or Brandon Walker. And I was just like recording them, like, and then posted it and it went viral. And I was like, okay, wait, these people are important. So it was hard to navigate. But then once I got a little credibility in there, I think it's a very sink or swim place. So once I started to like swim, it was good. I didn't get Barstool. The other option was going to be doing marketing for an insurance company, like doing their like flyers or helping them with like social media stuff. And I would have been fully remote at home, probably like still TikToking on the side, but not nearly as much. And like probably being miserable, being like, oh, I could be doing so much more. Like I would have just been doing, the PR side of like a small company that needed help with it. And like I applied to like Weber Shandwick. I almost got an internship there, and it's kind of a full circle story because I applied there, didn't get into it, and I was like, damn, that would have been good. And then like 2 weeks ago, I got an email from like a Weber Shandwick brand. I was like, hey, Mubi, are you interested in doing like brand deals? So we're Weber Shandwick and we want to help you. And I'm like, oh my God, now they want to work with me. Like, this is crazy. I think people sometimes forget I'm like a student. Like, I think a cool thing that could be asked is like, if you never had a Barstool internship, like what would you wanted to do maybe? Like I applied to like ad agencies and PR firms to work at. So I think, and I think when you do TikTok, people are like, oh, she's just going to do that forever and like overlook that. Like, I actually am like still a student and submitting my midterms and try to get good grades.
Mubi will see out her final season of lacrosse at Marist before stepping into the workforce full time. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Meet the scan. A simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Taylor Swift does not stop with her most recent release on 1989 Taylor's version, dropping last Friday. Here with their thoughts is Ella Madden and Taylor DeLisi.
What's up, hashtag? I'm Ella.
And I'm Taylor.
It's been 9 years to the date that Taylor Swift released her first pop album, 1989, an album that changed the pop music landscape as we know it.
And now, Swift is reclaiming her past and her masters with 1989, Taylor's version, which dropped on Friday, October 27th.
1989 was a major departure from Swift's early country sound, especially on her 2012 album Red, which kind of experimented with these pop sounds on songs like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were in Trouble.
I would say that Red was the first of her pop songs to come out, but 1989 really solidified that transition from country to pop and really showing the world that she can change across genres and still be as successful as she is today. Along with the shift in genres, Swift embraced a personal style change from her short bob to moving to New York by herself and getting a cat, which really emphasizes that change in your mid to early 20s.
Finding that personal freedom was huge, especially in how Swift decided to address intense and invasive media coverage of her personal life. Especially with the song Blank Space, she really decided to take a satirical viewpoint and really write from a different perspective. But anyways, let's get into the vault tracks.
Oh yeah. So what's your favorite vault track?
Okay, my favorite vault track is definitely Is It Over Now. I absolutely love this vault track, especially as someone who is a Swiftie and Directioner back in the day. Of course, I got swept up in the heyday of Taylor. Anyways, but hearing that lyric about the blue dress on the boat, the red blood in the snow, it really took me back to that intense social media period, especially as I was just on social media as it was happening. But that vault track just brought back so much nostalgia and also showed that even though we thought the fallout of that relationship was messy on social media between the fans, it was just as messy for Taylor in her personal life as well.
My personal favorite is Say Don't Go. It is the second vault track on the album, and it's about how she doesn't want this person to leave her life and how vulnerable she is. The song kind of starts off with a low, whispery tone and builds up to a loud scream as you get to the pre-chorus, the chorus, and the bridge especially. And you can really see that with the synths added to the song. It's safe to say 1989 Taylor's version has more than lived up to its expectations, creating a full sonic landscape of the freedom that comes with the chaos of your early 20s.
Even though my life is nothing like what I used to picture it would be when I listened to this album for the first time in middle school, I love being in my 1989 era again.
Any guesses for what the next Taylor's version will be?
Come on, it's gotta be Reputation. We'll see you then to debrief those vault tracks, but for now, we'll be partying like it's 1989.
Erin Russell is here for a special edition of Fashion Faves, Halloween edition. Take it away, Erin.
Thanks, ladies. Let's get right to it. It's only right that we start this week's Fashion Faves with a trend that has taken over since the summer. Barbie-inspired costumes are all the rage. I've seen Western Barbie, neon workout Barbie, and Barbie from the last scenes of the movie in the pink gingham dress, just to name a few. Honorable mention to all the expecting moms dressing as Midge. While many ladies in pink are fully embracing this trend by themselves, others have brought in significant others. Couples have coordinated in Western outfits, Kens being the black and white getup that was seen in the hit film. I've also seen some Kens wearing the popular fleece sweater embroidered with I am Kenough. Some couples have taken a different route. Barbenheimer is out on the town with couples wearing Barbie-inspired outfits and a suit and hat to represent the double feature that had audiences flocking to theaters. Either way, this costume can do no wrong. It's a classic that I predict will continue for many Halloweens to come. Are we sick of the Kardashian family? I hope not, because they posted some great costumes this past weekend. To start, Kourtney took a page from her younger sister Kim's book as she dressed in Kim's Met Gala look from 2013. Kim wore a floral-length dress with sleeves, gloves, and a turtleneck. Kourtney copied the look to a T with the same makeup, hairstyles, and accessories. The pair has seen their fair share of feuding as they go back and forth, accusing each other of copying their style. On their hit Hulu show, Kim said, quote, "I got married in Italy. Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy? Who performed at my wedding? Andrea Bocelli. Who performed at Kourtney's wedding? Andrea Bocelli," end quote. Kim seemingly gave this look her seal of approval as she reposted it to her Instagram story with 3 clapping emojis. Her daughter Northwest paid tribute to her dad, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. His album cover for Graduation features an animated bear wearing a Letterman jacket. North donned a bear suit, jacket, and all. In a series of TikToks posted to the account shared between North and Kim, she lip-synced to 3 of her dad's songs while dancing in the realistic suit. The queen of Halloween, none other than Heidi Klum herself, has yet to reveal her elaborate costume for this year. Her recent Instagram post has fans thinking. She captioned a nude photo of herself laying under a large piece of art, quote, "The calm before the storm. 3 days until #Heidi Halloween 2023. My motto this Halloween, go big or go home," end quote. I'm not sure how she will top last year's costume. She was a realistic human-sized worm. You heard me right. In other years, she has been Michael Jackson from his music video for Thriller, An Alien Experiment Gone Wrong, and Jessica Rabbit. Her annual Halloween party, started in 2000, sees many celebrities up the ante with their own costumes while in attendance. Ice-T and his family dressed up as Dracula and vampires, respectively. Elon Musk was even in attendance at the 2022 Halloween Bash. I'm looking forward to Heidi's costume, knowing there are no limits to her imagination. That's all for this week's Fashion Faves Halloween edition. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Caitlin Turner is here asking you guys your favorite Halloween movies, and this is what she found.
Hey, #. I would have to say that my favorite Halloween movie is definitely Edward Scissorhands. I loved it because it had that sci-fi sci-fi element, and I'm also not a big fan of horror, so like I think it was just enough that I liked it. But also, like, who doesn't love a little romance, you know? I think it's just so different. The guy has scissors on his hands, like, you don't see a lot of movies doing that. It's just such a feel-good movie, and it's so spooky.
Yeah, I'd absolutely recommend E.T. It's a classic. I know it's an older movie, but it's still a classic. It's kind of a feel-good story too, you know, making friends with E.T. the extraterrestrial. That bike scene is iconic. There's a Halloween party in it. It's also, Reese's Pieces is like a big part of it, Halloween candy. I have a peanut allergy, so I can't eat those, but like, I do like the flower metaphor throughout the whole thing. Like, it takes a second to click, but once it does, like, I thought that was like a really good way to kind of demonstrate how he was kind of fading.
I have to go with the classic of Nightmare Before Christmas, just because it's an excellent film. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a stop motion film, and it's really well animated. Tim Burton did a tremendous job directing it, and obviously you have to go with the soundtrack. It's mainly centered around Christmas, but there's definitely the Halloween background, and you know, Jack Skellington's one of my favorite Disney characters. I went as him for Halloween a few years ago, so for anyone that's interested in a not so scary movie, but you want to have that holiday theme, definitely look this one up.
My favorite Halloween movie, it has to be the Conjuring series. It all started from, based on a true story with the Warren family as their big paranormal investigators, and then it spiraled into a big time universe where they had over 7 films being made, another one coming out in 2024. What made it memorable had to be the jump scares. It was not like it's a completely gory film. It would find the right time to jump scare the audience. It's exciting to see how it all turns out, how it went from a one little film to a big time universe and how it's spiraling into where it is today.
I think my favorite Halloween movie would be Hocus Pocus, strictly for there is a cat in it. I just thought all the characters were super funny, specifically with the broom thing, where the one which came out with the vacuum cleaner, that one was good. I mean, I do think this song is very timeless, especially since the movie is how old now, and they just recently came out with a new one. It's funny, it also has some deeper meanings in it, but it's also just like a lighthearted thing that I think everyone can enjoy, from adults to children. Don't fly out on your broom on us. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
We're back with this week's Hollywood News Update, and here to fill us in on all the latest West Coast entertainment is Liam Chen.
Thanks, guys. Let's hop off the plane at LAX for our first story. Actor Daniel Radcliffe has been announced as the executive producer on the documentary David Holmes, The Boy Who Lived. The documentary, set to release on HBO in November, is about Radcliffe's stunt double, David Holmes, who was tragically paralyzed during the filming of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 in 2009. Radcliffe and Holmes initially worked together on the first Harry Potter film in 2001 and built a close rapport throughout and following the filming of the series. Holmes' story will be told via behind-the-scenes footage as well as interviews with Holmes, Radcliffe, and past crew. Dealing with themes such as adversity, perseverance, the documentary examines the dangers faced by stunt performers and on-set safety standards. Radcliffe commented on the role of stunt performers on his podcast with Holmes, stating, quote, when the public sees something really painful or horrible, they think it was a visual effect or something that could be, or there's some clever, safe way of doing it. Often that's not the case, end quote. Grace and Samantha, what do you guys think about the bar Hollywood has set for safety standards for performers, cast, and crew?
So Samantha, since Holmes' accident in 2009, there have been at least 20 fatal injuries on film sets. Expand that a little bit further, at least 47 fatalities have occurred among 250 film productions since 1990. Now, SAG-AFTRA has established a new set of safety standards, specifically in 2018, in a response to 2 stunt-related deaths that year. However, because of the rise of visual effects and a lot of digital imagery replacing practical effects, practical stunts, stunt coordination and stunt doubles in general have gone overlooked within the industry. And it really is a shame because although this is considered one of the safer industries, stunt doubles really do risk their lives every single day, and stunt coordinators are responsible for said lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, like, we don't hear about it. If a A-list actor gets hurt on set, you hear about it. Dylan O'Brien got hurt in The Death Cure, everyone knew about it. Tom Cruise got hurt with Mission Impossible, everyone knew about it. But these stunt performers are going out there every day, risking their lives just for a cool shot, and no one's talking about it. And I think that it really shows how much we need to reevaluate what we're doing in the industry just to make it a safer environment for everyone on set, because unfortunately, this isn't something that could be overlooked as easily. I wish CGI was there and we'd be able to do it. But also you have to take into consideration the stunt performers, like the amount of training they have to go through and the amount of tests they have to run. Like, it's hard work. There's a lot of factors involved. And I think that everyone needs to be on the same page. That way these accidents don't happen as much, whether it's breaking a finger or something as horrible as a fatality. But Liam, what do you think?
Yeah, I have to completely agree. I know it's really easy to get caught up in meeting deadlines and the strict scheduling of a film set, but obviously I think safety needs to be paramount for all of the crew, and ensuring that things are done professionally and no one's going to get hurt needs to be a top priority. In other news this week, the newest installment in the long-running Mission Impossible series has been delayed nearly a year due to the ongoing SAG-AFTRA strike. The film, entitled Mission Impossible 8, originally slated to hit theaters on June 28, 2024, has now had its release pushed back to May 23, 2025. The strike, which has been in effect for over 3 months now, has caused distributors Paramount Pictures to adjust several aspects of production, leading to the delay. This newest addition to the Mission Impossible franchise aimed to outperform the previously and commercially underwhelming Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Paramount even went as far as dropping the film's originally planned Part 2 subtitle. Grace and Samantha, what do you guys think about the continuing SAG-AFTRA strike and how it's delaying several productions?
You know, as much as I hate to say it, I really don't think that audiences care right now. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, audiences have been trained to wait for movies, wait for TV shows. They go back and they watch all the things that they love because everything's being pushed back. And while everyone understands it, it's just going to be embedded into the way we go forth. We don't have to go to the theater immediately. We can wait for it on streaming. And I think that stuff like this is only going to impact that and further that feeling. But I do think it's important that these actors do stand their ground, because as much as it's important for Hollywood A-list actors to be paid the amount they deserve, I also think it's important for the background actors and all of the extras on set to really be compensated for what they're doing. They have to travel, they have to sometimes house themselves, and they get paid minimum wage for all that hard work. And yes, they aren't the lead role, but they're still putting their life on pause to do it. So once those conditions are met, I hope that audiences are gonna come back and really have that love for the theater again, but right now I just really don't think they care.
I do agree with your point about having background actors be paid equally. Of course, it goes back to our previous discussion. You can replace so much with AI and digital imagery now, but stunt performers will always be needed, especially on sets like Mission Impossible. The amount of stunt coordination that goes into a big budget action film like that is undeniable. That being said, I do believe that audiences are going to grow bored and come back. I do have hope for the future, just because after this next year, with the amount of productions that are being delayed, we are going to run into a media drought. As of right now, over 40 productions have been delayed, and that's just in the film industry. Even more have been pushed or postponed their releases There have also been over 30 TV shows postponed in production. So eventually, not only are we going to meet said media drought, but so many people working within the industry, beyond just actors, are going to be put out of a job. Liam, what do you think?
I completely agree. I think it's really easy for a lot of the public when they hear about the strike, they think about the actors that are making money like hand over fist, and they, it's hard to relate to that. But when you think about the little guys that are making the productions work behind the scenes, it's really essential that they are getting paid and they're able to make a living and continue productions and putting out media. But that's all the time we have left for today for the Hollywood News Update, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Alex Kendall is here with her review of the Attack on Titan documentary. Alex?
What's up, hashtag? It's Alex. Recently, the Japanese public broadcast network NHK released a special on their series called The Professionals, which featured interviews from the cast of hit anime series Attack on Titan, or AOT. Visual spoilers are ahead for the current Attack on Titan season. You have been warned. The Professionals is a Japanese documentary series that focuses on first-class professionals from various fields in Japan, and in this case, that means anime Japan too. This special preludes the highly anticipated final episode in the Attack on Titan series, dominating the ranks on multiple film and TV websites. This special focuses on Eren as a character and the challenges he faces as a soldier in the Survey Corps, as well as what motivates him to keep moving forward. Following its namesake, it asks Eren what the term professional means to him. But without further ado, let's get into the actual documentary itself. It's around 17 to 18 minutes long and also features other members of the cast, such as Levi Akbin and Armin Arlert. After seeing the documentary myself, I am a little disappointed. Most of the interview shows visuals that are clearly reused from the show itself, making it look like a haphazardly edited together YouTube video rather than something out of a TV network. This resulted in breaking the immersion and immediately taking me out of the interview. And while I recognize they do not wish to waste Mappa's time on animating this special, if the documentary is made to tide over fans until the final episode's release and represents Mappa or AOT, it deserves to have the same quality as any other Mappa represented project. For a franchise that is worth nearly $45 to $46 million, I just expected more out of this special, especially given the quality of other NHK interviews being incredibly well done. Personally, it feels like one of those ideas that was great in concept but became lacking in actual execution. However, I do appreciate that they used the same voice actors for this documentary. The emotion and feelings that the characters were able to portray came across thanks to the use of the original VAs. And while the visuals weren't the best, with the content of the interviews being in character, it really added an extra layer of interest to everyone present. In a way, it felt like we were wishing one final goodbye to the characters in a sort of love letter. We polled QU students to gauge interest and reaction to the AOT documentary, and these were your responses, which I am honestly not surprised about. Many of the responses mentioned that this kind of interview felt fresh and unique, as well as appreciating the level of insight on the characters' mental states, which we don't really get to see in the anime itself. However, I think if any fictional character gets interviewed in the future, the interest is there, but it needs to be treated with the proper care in order to come off successfully. The final episode of Attack on Titan is set to finally come out on November 4th. For now, this interview definitely helps to satiate the wait. But that's it from me. I'm Alex. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's all we have this week on #that.
Make sure to follow us on our social media accounts to stay up to date.
I'm Grace Doyle.
And I'm Samantha Shaw. From the producers, talent, and everyone working hard behind the scenes, thank you for watching #that, and we will see you again next week.